Hey VC, this is Chad. I decided to start adding some more stuff to Discogs, and I've reached the part of my shelf that is 10 inches, and I don't see a lot of talk on the VC about 10-inch records, so I decided to do a little piece on that. I've pulled out 10 inches from my collection at random. I probably have about 75 total, so right now I am listening to Ennio Morricone's For a Few Dollars More. This is obviously a classic spaghetti western by Sergio Leone. This was a reissue on AMS Records from a few years ago. It's on purple vinyl. So here is a copy of another soundtrack. This is from the band Coil, and it's called The Unreleased Themes for Hellraiser by Coil. So when the original Hellraiser came out, Coil was supposed to do the soundtrack, and basically the studio didn't like what they were doing. They thought it was too scary or something like that, so, which is pretty funny for a horror movie. So actually Christopher Young went on to do a very iconic orchestral score for that, which I love. But this one is actually a really great record to listen to. So it hasn't been reissued. It's pretty hard to find. So this one is a first pressing on pink vinyl, I believe. So it's got a pretty neat cover on the back as well. So this is the Helicopters, Disappointment Blues. This is a single 10-inch on Go-Go Records out of Australia, I believe. I think some of the songs on here, Long Gone Losers, and some of the other, there's 5 tracks on here. I think some of those have appeared on some of the other Helicopters albums. If you're not familiar with the Helicopters, they play awesome garage rock. Most famous, I guess, to me at least, the guitar player and singer Nicky Anderson was actually the original drummer and founder of the death metal band Entombed. So nothing like that, but the Helicopters are still rocking. Have a good bit of their records are pretty hard to find as well. So, but the Helicopters, Disappointment Blues. This one is a Record Store Day release. Not exactly sure when this came out. 2012. This is the Gorillaz, and the song is called Do Ya Thing. This one features Andre 3000 from Outkast, and it's actually just a one-sided 10-inch. The back is blank, so it's a really great song. It's 13 minutes long, so could have been a 12-inch, but I think it's a cool format. So Gorillaz. Here is a pretty cool record from, I don't know, the early 90s, 94, let's say 94 or so. This is Helmet's Betty. There was a few, Helmet blew up on the scene with their couple songs in the 90s, Unsung. What else was that other song? But anyways, there was a couple videos on here I remember, Milk Toast, Wilma's Rainbow. This was released on Amphetamine Reptile record label in 1994, I guess, is when it came out. I believe they were on a major label at this point, but the vinyl was still coming out on Amphetamine Reptile. This record, I don't think has been, I know I just picked up the first couple albums they reissued recently on vinyl. This one I don't think has still come out on any other format besides this 10-inch. I could be wrong, but anyways, they have they're really heavy and they have a great groove. So this one might be their best album. I'm not sure, but I do like this one a lot. On the opposite end of the spectrum, this was a record, one of the first records I ever mail ordered from a company. This was through SST, an imprint, I believe, that had something to do with Cruise Records. This is by the band All, and this was a song they used to play on my local radio station, the college radio station. It's called She's My Ex. Forget who the singer is on this one. So Scott Reynolds, All has gone through. It's basically the Descendants with a different singer. This one has Scott Reynolds on it. I don't know, it's a really catchy song. That's why I bought it originally. So I've probably had this record since 1990, I would say. This is on just black vinyl. Here's another record I've had since it came out in 1995. This is a classic hardcore record, and it is Humanity is the Devil by Integrity. This came out on Victory Records, and I was in love with it immediately. I was already familiar with the band, but I also really love the artwork from Pusshead, who you might know from early skateboarding graphics and a lot of punk bands. This was a really intricate design for them, but this is a classic hardcore record. It starts out with a track of yelling called Vocal Test, which they play a lot live, which gets the crowd moving. So Integrity, Humanity is the Devil. So this next artist is pretty controversial sometimes. I'm not really going to get into politics or anything, but I'm a fan of the music, and that is Death in June. And this is a 10-inch picture disc, Peaceful Snow, and these records are pretty weird. It's Douglas P. and various masks. Pretty freaky. There's another soundtrack record. This is also in my top 5 soundtracks of all times. This is a single from the record for Tron Legacy, and it's by Daft Punk. And this is a 10-inch, and you can see it's in the shape of a light disc from the movie Tron. They've reissued this a few times with different colored discs. This is blue. I think they have orange and green, and they did release this for Record Store Day not too long ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So it's a pretty neat record, though. I think there are 4 songs on here that are also on the LP. So. All right, the last record I have here is from one of my favorite bands. I showed them in my intro video. And this is actually a weird shaped 10-inch, but it is a 10-inch, just the jacket's a little odd, which makes it hard to put in a sleeve. But that is Era Vulgaris by Queens of the Stone Age. This came out on Epicac Records in 2007. I saw this tour as well with Queens of the Stone Age. I've seen at least probably 6 times or so over the years. This one, it took a while to grow on me, but there's some really great tracks on here. Sick Sick Sick, Misfit Love, Misfit Love. Let's see what else. Turn On the Screw, I think, also was a single. So I think the artwork in here is pretty cool. These little light bulbs and cartoon characters. The layout is also pretty cool. It's like screen print looking bold graphics. So Era Vulgaris. So that was 10 inches from my collection. Thanks for watching. Bye.